All right, so typically what I do before either a warm up in the gym or just at home whenever I need to loosen up the legs, loosen up the back. This is definitely useful for before squats and before deadlifts. But one thing that I have definitely noticed is I reduce in cramps, leg cramps during bench press. If I do this before I do my bench sets. So I'll just show you guys real quick kind of what I do. So typically I start off with the quads, and I typically start a little slow and just work through any trouble areas that I might have, work through some lactic acid, and if I hit any trouble spots, I will hold it for a second, and then I'll really start grinding into it a little bit. Typically if I do this every day, I don't have to. I don't have to do this very long. It's not like there's a lot of knots that need to be worked out. But if I forget over a couple days, or if I just had a squat day the day before, I might be a little tender. And so I'll just find those spots and I just kind of roll them out. Sometimes it can be a little bit painful, but I assure you, if you roll through it, it will loosen up, and you can get a little bit more mobile. I spend maybe a couple minutes doing this right here. Sometimes I'll kind of adjust and maybe do one leg at a time and get those quads really, really rolled out. I'm going to isolate each one of them. And typically I move on and hit the side, hit the outer quad, and then hit that IT band as well. So I'll start up high on the hip a little bit and really work kind of in the glute area a little bit. And work down that IT band. And you can use your foot to kind of stabilize and take a little bit of weight off if you're too heavy or if it's too sensitive. I've gotten to the point now where I can just kind of really grind into it with my full weight, and it feels pretty good. But the first time you do it, first few times, it's going to be kind of sensitive. So you may want to hold yourself up with your hand and brace yourself with your other foot. Sometimes when I'm doing this, I'll get my back to pop, and it feels pretty good. Kind of loosens everything up. This leg's a little tighter than the other one, so I spend a little more time on this one. But for the sake of the demonstration, I'll move on. So typically we'll spend a couple minutes on each leg like this, hitting the IT bands, hitting the sides, and then typically roll over and start working on the glutes. You can really start to roll out the hips and get on that lower back a little bit. I typically do one at a time, just because you hit your tailbone if you don't, and that typically loosens up the lower back a little bit more. I don't know if you hear that, but back is popping just from that. And so after I spend maybe another couple minutes on the glutes area, I typically roll down. This is where I'll get the upper back, and this is really, really good for bench. Loosens everything up. Shoulders are kind of tight sometimes. You can really start to decompress that spine. Kind of lean back into it. And working your way down. Sometimes you gotta adjust everything. Your shirt will get caught. But you'll feel all sorts of things creaking and cracking as you loosen everything up. And typically, one last thing I like to do is I'll get a little bit of pressure on that lower back and work it up. And that's pretty much it. I spend maybe 5 minutes or so doing this, pretty much daily. Definitely work 5 to 10 minutes doing it when I'm warming up for bench, for squat, for deadlift, and really gets everything going. It's a good way to mentally focus on your workout as well. Obviously, you're working, getting everything loose, popping anything out, lactic acid. But I'm gonna have a link here down below, and it'll show you how I made this. This is actually my 4-inch pipe here, and I've got a 2-inch pipe that I'll be showing you guys what I've done, or actually I'm sorry, a 3-inch pipe that I'll show you guys what I'm doing with it. And if you like it, please like and subscribe to the video. If you'd like to see some more how-to videos on maybe some of the tools that I use for my bench press, for workouts, let me know in the comments below. And as always, you guys can find me on Instagram @SwimHack. Thanks for watching.